What is going on with Bitcoin currently? Last Friday, we have seen a decrease in price, and then we have seen a retracement of the entire move, taking out the highs prior to that, all in one single day. Let's be honest, Bitcoin has been in a very much range-bound environment lately, and that, as a technical analyst, can make it very difficult to keep your chart clean, concise, and provide you with that clear overview on what to expect on the price. This video is slightly different than the other ones because what I want to do is I am going to show you my latest day trading update that I did on Friday in the tribe, where I'm going over this exact problem of dealing with analysis paralysis, where you have so much levels on your chart that it is really difficult to decipher and figure out a good trading setup. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed this video. If you do, then please leave a like and subscribe to this channel, because I will be following up on this video with another update on how the price is going to progress and what I'm going to expect next on Bitcoin. Naturally, I also do day trading updates within the community Thrive Labs on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, where I will be giving out my analysis and share my thoughts on the Bitcoin price and how I'm looking to trade it for that particular day, as well as keeping the community updated as price is progressing in real time. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you thoroughly enjoy, and see you. Let me know in the comments how you've enjoyed this video, and yeah, stay tuned for the follow-up update that is going to come afterwards. Cheers. A brilliant morning, everybody. Welcome to today's Crypto Compass update, where I am gonna go over my day trading plan and, more importantly, what my methodology is, because as you can see, we see currently here a lot of technical analysis on the chart. This is the result of being very long in a range-bound environment. At some point, the range is going to be so thickened that it becomes increasingly difficult to really digest what truly is going on, as you are having a lot of different technical analysis on your chart that kind of like starting to mix up with each other. If you have watched the course on the Academy, this almost really starts to look like you're just mapping out SR levels. And at some point, it just becomes a bit too wild in terms of analysis. Of course, I've started with this picture and I've exaggerated it a little bit, but I would not be surprised if some of you are struggling with this exact same problem. This technical analysis is used to give clarity and context on what is going on the chart, and it is supposed to be helping you to form to make informed decisions and make informed plans. However, it can also work the opposite way. It can actually paralyze you if you have too many things going on the chart. There's at some point going to be a point, no matter how experienced you are, that your chart is going to be so full of different analysis that it becomes really difficult to see what are the facts and what is not. So basically, what is true and what is not true. That is going to be the purpose of this video today, and I'm going to show you how to simplify things and how to get back to the basics so that we can focus on what is true. What are the market facts instead of what do we want here to happen? Because I do notice that all around on the internet, a lot of people are really starting to get into the speculative area, and I find that very dangerous to be in. Especially because I already mentioned that the market, in my opinion, is coming close to a breaking point where we would see an increase in volatility. Now is really the time to prepare for this mentally, but also on the chart, with a clear mind, with a clear and concise plan. So let us just simply begin with that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hide all of my analysis so that we can just look at the plain, simple chart. And we will start building from there and building around, right? I'm not going to throw away this analysis, but I'm going to realign myself with this. Let's begin. First question here is, what is the state of the market? Are we going sideways or are we going in a trend? Is it state 1 or is it state 2? Higher time frame, very simply put, sideways, period. Range bound environment, hence the reason why we have so much levels. Why we have so much levels. To the point that it becomes almost unreadable. Sideways, overall macro environment. No discussion about it, no speculation about it. Doesn't matter what you think, doesn't matter what you want to happen. This is what it is. It's sideways. Consolidation area, and therefore overall, as long as we stay within this box, yes, we can have big moves, yes we can have big moves to the upside, to the downside, but overall in range bound environment, this is a reflection point where price is ultimately deciding whether it wants to continue continue upwards, as we are coming off of an uptrend, but at the moment that trend is just taking a rest. That rest is already taking half a year right now. That also means that if you think these moves are big within this range, then it also means that once we are making a decision, the volatility will pick up excessively, whether that is going to be a break to the upside or to the downside. Until then, the fact is we are range bound, and that is our explanation as to why we are seeing extremely low volatility periods during the formation of this range, with the occasional big rotational move to the extremes of this. That is the situation. Now, let us zoom in a little bit lower, because this is where we come into the real day trading part already. What is the truth here? What is the truth? Let's just start with mapping out market structure, right? And I will also show you why this is starting to show a little bit confusing. So let's just mark it out. We have a high, we have a low, we have a lower high. Boom, we have a low, bearish market structure within the range. We have a lower high, but a higher low. And now, technically speaking, we also have a higher high. However, it immediately poses a problem, because is this now a trend? Yes, technically it indeed is. However, this is where it really becomes difficult, because of the fact that when you are seeing a strong trend, you want to see, a clear break, and then you want to see consolidation within that. If, however, you come back into this into the previous section, then price simply kind of remains range bound, right? As you are having, in terms of your price structure, you are having bullish market structure. So the expectation here is that you're experiencing a new uptrend. However, if you do not break out with volatility and actually just continue to range on, then it is more of a range bound environment, more or less a little bit of a non-event almost. And that is what we're seeing here, and that is the reason why this entire section is pretty difficult to really decipher. Right? This is really difficult to decipher. So don't beat yourself up about it. Don't beat yourself up about if you have made trading losses due to this price action. There's really no shame in this, because this is an extremely difficult and low volatile environment to trade Bitcoin in at the moment. It is what it is. But also know that this will change at some point, right? But I do want to mention that. So how are we going to go about this? What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to isolate this particular section, as maybe the answers lie in there as we are zooming into the lower time frame and look at the facts, like, okay, when is something validated and when is something not validated? So let's just start off with just analyzing this. Starting on the daily time frame, where we have our low being put in. This is where the start of the upside move it has started, of that latest section. We have put in a high, we've put in a higher low, and we have confirmed this now at the moment with a higher high, right? So that means that the latest low on the daily time frame, this is our key level if we are looking for the end of this move on a daily price structure, right? So that is 26,200, more or less, let's say $26,000. If we break this level, then we can fully, with 100% certainty, say that this move has ended and we are looking for further downside with extremely high probability, right? So the daily market structure currently within this range, even, right? So let me just clarify. What is the market state? Range. So state 2, range bound. However, this is a trend, albeit at the moment very weak, but it is a trend, right? So trading a trend, you would be looking for long opportunities and buying dips, right? Problem though is that this trend is just really not that convincing. So we're going to have to isolate the information. When is this trend finished? As simple as it gets, we lose $26,000. This trend is over. Done and dusted. However, this is the latest low, and we have a sub move within that, right? Because this is then the latest move that comes from there on out that brought us to bringing that new high. So let's analyze that now. Secondly, this is on the lower time frame. So let's say the 4-hour market structure, right? So we are having here low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and from here on out, it's unclear because we don't know if the low is in, we don't know if the high is in, right? So this once again is a little bit undeciphered. However, it does provide us with extremely good information because on the 4-hour market structure, the trend is going to be over if we lose $26,876. That is where we can say, like, okay, this move is now over. And the probabilities increase a lot for us to at least test this key level, if not break it, right? Whoops, that is not what I wanted to do. There we go. So that is just a fact. There's no discussion about it. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter how you feel. This is what is true. And that is what we are seeking in amidst this confusing, more or less, price action, right? Then what we can do finally is start to analyze that latest move to the upside, right? Based off of this latest upthrust. Once again on a lower time frame. I'm now going into the 1 to 15 minute time frame. And the reason why it doesn't really matter that much is simply because price is just not so volatile, right? So in this scenario, it doesn't really matter whether you're looking at a 15-minute time frame or a 1-hour time frame. But we're gonna work our way down, yeah? So this is then the latest move coming from there on out on a lower time frame, right? Where we have high, higher low, higher high, higher low, right? Higher high. So daily time frame uptrend, 4-hour uptrend. Now we are on the 1-hour time frame where we do have a break in structure, right? Because we lost this low. And as a matter of fact, we've backtested it yesterday. One of the additional things that I missed yesterday due to the fact I was not focused. Even though on, I think it was on the Monday trading update, I have made it explicitly clear that I was extremely interested in shorting these highs. Well, yeah, I was very correct on the analysis, although I just did not have the focus to trade it, unfortunately. Am I salty about it? Well, to be honest, maybe just a little bit. But I also know that there is more opportunities gonna come up soon. I do think today might be the case. I mean, in the end, we are in the opening phase of a new quarter. We are in the opening phase of a new month, and the week is ending, and today we have some news events coming out. So, plenty of opportunities to come. So I'm not really too bothered about missing out on this move. Okay, so what we have done now is we have broken the 1 hour market structure low. In the process of doing so, we've put in a lower high overall, right? Overall. But we have not fully confirmed that market structure yet with a lower high. However, the probabilities are pretty high that we kind of do so, right? So this is the situation. And then on the 15-minute, once again, we are on we are simply really sideways, honestly, because this is one of these scenarios where, yeah, okay, you have a high, high or low, but it's just not bullish. I would class this as just at the moment just really big sideways range, or better said, sideways range with a really big deviation that we had yesterday now coming back into it, right? That is my conclusion off of this, the way that I look at this price action, and that gives us our final necessary piece of information to start making a plan. Because why did we do all this? This is to realign what we're thinking on the chart. So what do we have? We have range bound on the macro, range bound on the high time frame. We have an uptrend, right, on the let's say on the daily time frame. We also have an uptrend on the 4-hour time frame, right? So overall range bound, but locally we are actually in an uptrend. And even on the 1-hour time frame, yes, we've broken a local low, which increases the probability of putting in a lower low. However, that structure has not been confirmed yet. And if we do so, we also know that we are coming into support rather quickly below it. So shorting this, let's be honest, if you put everything into perspective, overall within a range bound environment, we are experiencing, albeit weak, uptrend, and that has simply not been invalidated, not even at the moment on a lower time frames, not even on the 1 hour. Yes, we have broken a local low, yes, we have put in a lower high, but we have not yet put in a lower low at all. And if we do so, we have higher time frame support coming in pretty much directly below us, and that makes this once again a difficult environment to first of all trade in. And it also leaves us a little bit in the middle of nowhere. And therefore, what we can do is start building or seeing if we actually have technical confluence around it. Now, this is where we can realign and put back on our analysis, because we have our levels over here. It's going to be very simple, right? In order to invalidate this as a lower high, we need to break this. In order to continue the trend and confirm this on the 4-hour as a new market structure low, right? So what I'm talking about is if we get a candle close above $28,000, that also means that this is now our new low, right? Not this one anymore. Until then, this one remains the key level, right? So this is where we can start thinking in steps. So we have a few key levels coming up from here on out, right? So we have this high over here. We have the literally $28,000. We have 27,250. Right, to the downside, and then ultimately to confirm that market structure again, to reconfirm it, the uptrend, right, for continuation, we need to start, trading above that 28,500, and this is where we can now start framing our analysis on, right? So we have our key points, right? This one, this one, this one, this one, and ultimately this one. Those are our levels. So if we now can start doing our technical analysis surrounded around that, that is really where our plan is starting to come together. So let's start with our horizontals that I already have mapped out, where I can already see like, okay, this daily, boom, we have a daily level. We have a daily level, right? So that is already interesting to me. And we can also already see that we have these are two new daily levels, that price is ultimately contracting, right? So what is happening is more or less this is happening, right? And that means that at some point, a breakout, boom, a release is going to come from that. We don't know which way. So I'm already saying, like, while these daily levels at the moment are true, I'm actually not really that interested in actually trading these levels. I might want to wait for the bigger levels, which is once again the daily level and this daily level. So that is where we're already starting to get some insight. And what we can also see is that at a lower level, we do have a weekly level as well, right? So that weekly level and this daily level. So we are starting to really have our technical analysis now lining up with that structure. And that is great. So now let's put on our high time frame volume levels. Where do I get these levels from? Well, this is from our really big sideways range. Fixed range, boom, boom. There we go. Those are the levels, right? So now let me zoom back in. And then we have another confluence, namely the $28,000. Boom. Around that daily level. Not exact confluence, so not too beautiful, but it is what it is. Then, what do we have otherwise? The high time frame current range. Let me double check what I was on about here. So this one, and now high time frame current range. Oh, I see. Yeah, so this is this is a sideways channel that I've been building around that. So that might be interesting to keep on for now, for just a little bit. And you can see that we're literally on the midline of this channel right now, seemingly holding this as support. So there we have our reason why we're stalling around these levels. So now, what I just said a few minutes ago is we are hovering in the middle of nowhere. But are we? No, we're not, because we're actually traveling in the mid-side, in the equilibrium, in the absolute equilibrium of the sideways range. And that is what it is. So let's put on back our levels. And that is where we have our current daily level actually, or the level, or the daily level of yesterday, my apologies, becomes more valid, right? So this is an important level, and this is our upper side pivot, and then we have this over here. So what can we do from here? What I'm going to do is, as a matter of fact, I'm actually not so interested in trading this level, because it's just seemingly a little bit random. But what we can do is, first, before we do, is just try and see if we have more confluences, because we now have our horizontals on, we have our volume levels on, but what about our Fibonacci levels? So let's put those on as well. If I'm putting that from that latest, that latest support around the weekly, right, from where the latest move start all the way up here, right, then we have our golden pocket confluence over here, right on around this daily level. And on the market structure level, right? So that is important support. $27,000 is really important, crucial support in order for us to maintain upside momentum, right? So that is naturally a place where I personally would be interested in longing. Now, what can we do otherwise? So this is the 4-hour structure, right? So if we lose this level, then then we're starting to lose that 4-hour market structure, and then it becomes extremely probable that we're going to hit that weekly next, right? And by due to the entire environment, then we can just class this as an entire range once again. So that is one of the reasons why this level is, for me, is one of the more important levels of the recent few days. If we lose this level, then I think it's very, very, very probable we're gonna get a much deeper retracement. So naturally, I'm very interested in longing at $27,000. As long as we stay above it, we have a continuation upwards of the move, right? We have a continuation upwards to the move, and $29,000 remains very well in the cards. And that is really as simple as it gets. So now that we have Fibonacci support mapped out. Right, of course, if we lose this daily level, then we can start drawing it down. And that's what I forgot to mention. And then we are also having extremely nice confluence on the next key level, right? So support, support. But for day trading, might not necessarily be that relevant, but it's good to be at least aware of it. Now, what we can do is finish this off with mapping out our resistance levels. And there we go. High to low. Boom. And that is obviously what we hit yesterday. So that trade now already played out. But there's the confluence there remains valid, right? So what am I gonna do? What is the final conclusion here? What is the final conclusion? As you can see, it's getting rather busy on the chart. So on our inflection points that we've just mapped out, right? Here, 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 and here, right? If I'm not mistaken. Then we have nice confluence around some of these levels. So this is where I'm going to clean up my chart now, and I'm going to just simply say, like, okay, do you know what? We have here Fibonacci confluence, we have horizontal confluence, and by the way, we also have our value area low, by the way. Sorry, I forgot that. So that is ultimately what I wanted to build up from. How do I get this value area level? Well, simply put, this whole range pulling of our fixed range. This is changing right now because we are seeing some price fluctuations, but we can, we can safely say like, okay, this value area is starting to get around this daily level over here, and therefore we have multiple confluences of the 3 most important tools that I use on a daily basis, and that confirms really solid. That is where we can grow our confidence from. So what I'm gonna do now is, simply put, I'm going to just clean up my entire chart. For now, I'm just gonna put it in the group. I'll sort it after I finish recording this video, but I'm going to hide all of this stuff. Boom. And I do not actually want this daily level. It is a valid daily level, but I'm not going to trade it, so no reason to have it on. And that gives us our final really nice range to trade, right? Levels to trade, with a daily to the upside, 27,965, 26,000, let's say 900, as our crucial support level, with an extremely nice daily level in the middle, in the exact middle of it, right? Which also corresponds with the midline of a really bigger time frame level. So that is basically the situation. If we start reclaiming this daily level, right, we can look literally for higher prices, because the probabilities are that we're going to take out this high, and therefore, I would be looking for $29,000, really. If we start losing this level, then this entire trend, right, then this entire trend is going to be more or less in trouble, with the full confirmation of that being that weekly level. So that also means that if we start losing this level, we backtest, we can simply trade it back down, at least to the weekly, if not lower. If we start reclaiming this, then we can trade it at least to the latest highs, if not higher. Until then, we can look to fade momentum into here. And why do I look for these levels and these levels, and why am I not longing here? Well, first of all, I do not trade in the middle of the ranges. Second of all, and that is, I think, where I want to work towards a closure of this video, we do have economic data coming out today, 1 hour before the New York Open. We have the non-farm payrolls and we have the employment rate. Massively important data that usually sparks massive volatility within the markets. However, I wouldn't be surprised if for Bitcoin this is going to be a non-event, where we might just have our volatility spike to the upside, then have a volatility spike to the downside, and then continue on ranging on the weekend, as Bitcoin has liked to do lately, when the ES and the dollar are extremely volatile lately, where Bitcoin is just pretty much doing nothing. Having that said, ES at the moment is approaching buy zone, in my opinion. We have seen significant retracement, really big retracement. At the moment, I'm overall a little bit more bearish on the ES. However, it doesn't mean that we can have rallies, right? We cannot have relief. It doesn't mean we cannot have relief rallies. So we're here in a downward sloping channel, right? Maintaining for now that market structure, attempting to change this locally for a full rotation, at least to the top of this channel. Overall, that would still maintain market structure. However, if we start breaking this channel, then we have potential for a much larger time frame rally. That can be quite significant. So be aware of that, and that can be good for Bitcoin. At the same time, the dollar is finally, after 10 weeks, 10 green weeks, if not more, can't even count the amount of candles that we have over here. At some point, the dollar does need to have its retracement, right? It only makes sense. It cannot just, nothing goes up forever. So it does seem that the dollar is finally starting to retrace. So let's just see how this is going to progress. As I've just observed the last, or at least this week, Bitcoin is really not paying too much attention to this. So maybe after today, it will, just something to be aware of for some extra context for you guys. I will keep you guys posted on how this day is going to progress. Yeah, I think this is probably a very valuable stream for you all, especially because price action is, let's be honest, it is quite sluggish. It is kind of choppy, and then out of nowhere you have like these pretty big moves, and then price just dies out a lot. So it can be difficult to keep to stay focused. It can be difficult to stay patient. And that is the reason why I'm, dissecting the chart today in this way for you. So not only to ponder over the weekend, but to just provide clarity amidst, a washed chart almost, where a lot of levels are just, while respected, they just remain relatively low volatility overall, and can get really confusing. So I hope you've really enjoyed this video. I hope you can use this to your benefit, and I hope that this helps realigning your mind and give you some clarity on how I'm constructing the chart, and just simplifying it in a way that I don't have to second guess what I'm going to look at next. And also to show you, I guess I will say a few words about, the missed trade yesterday. Missing a trade, it doesn't antagonize me per se, right? It doesn't antagonize me per se. However, there can be multiple factors why you would miss the trade. In my case, I was just not focused enough because, there was just a lot of external, literal noise around me. I couldn't focus on it. Of course, this is human, and this happens from time to time. Missing a trade is even not really the worst part. Losing a trade, for example, is much worse, right? However, I do feel like I've lost an opportunity. Am I going to sit and fret about it? No, what I'm doing instead is I'm even motivated more to work harder, to give myself even more clarity, so that the next time, even when I'm not focused, I can simply just execute the plan. This is the result of what happened yesterday, and that is the reason why I now have refocused everything in detail on the chart, and I will not be surprised no matter what happens. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you've enjoyed. Have a great weekend. Cheers.